So Mukunda Foods designs food printing machines. We make machines which print food. Our first product is Dosamatic, the world's first tabletop dosa making machine.
So I co-founded Innovese when we were third year in our college, and that's early 2010. We were a group of programmers who loved to play around with the internet, developing apps. We wrote a couple of programs for ourselves.
At the press of a button, this machine can automatically make dosas for you in just a minute's time. A food product like burger, if you see a McD burger, not only in India but globally, the cost of the food product remains the same. Thus, food products like burgers, crepes, donuts, which are all the same cost worldwide, are not the same with Indian food products like idlis, dosas, puris. The reason being, Indian food products are prepared, whereas food products like burgers are all manufactured. They have some amount of assembly setup or lineup into them when those food products are made. Thus, we thought automating the food products in India is a much required need, and to remove the skill required in making Indian food products, we automated the Indian food products.
We thought, let's start off a web development company. So we started off as a web development company, having varied offerings in terms of website design, Facebook applications. If someone needed a customization on their existing software, so we started off like that. Started making a bit of revenues, which are okay in terms of a college student running company from the hostel. Then later in 2011, we got stuck by this idea of making captchas better. So that's where we launched our first commercial product, which we made public, which is Yo Captcha. I, with a couple of batchmates, we were independently freelancing, and for to generate some amount of monthly expenses. And we were inherently programmers and designers. So we thought that there is a demand, specifically in the West, because most of our initial clients were from abroad, mostly the States and Western Europe. So we thought that why to freelance when we can make it an organization and do wonderful things with that.
2 years before this, when the TATA First Dot was in its first edition, I was one of the the teammates of the TATA First Dot, and I liked the way the number of startups came and they presented and the benefits which they received from them. And then it was during the TATA First Dot first season when I thought that I should also have my venture, and 1 year I will be presenting it myself. So that was when I was in second year in college, and by the fourth year I made it a point that no matter what, I should be presenting at TATA First Dot and in fact try to win it. TATA First Dot is a great, one thing, it's a great experience to meet people of your level. You are running a startup in your college with some, some problems and all, and when you go to TATA First Dot, you come to meet so many people who have been working on the startups in the similar sort of environments. So it's a good to have feeling that you have people with whom you can connect to, you can share ideas and all. Especially in the side of the coverage and the exposure TATA First Dot gave us was really huge. Mint paper covered us, and after Mint covered us, there were many other newspapers and press which covered us. And many people came to know about Dosamatic, and Hindu covered us on page number 1 of the national edition, and were similarly many other media people who connected to us, and that was a huge exposure we got. That was point number 2. Some of the guidances and the points which we took away from actual event, like when we met some of the speakers, and some of the mentoring sessions which we had were really good. Because these are all seasoned entrepreneurs who come and advise you on various aspects of how to run a business, because they've done this before. So we feel that right from the personal front, from the business and the exposure front, and also to get a feel of how to run your company, TATA First Dot covered all these 3 points very well. And one of the reasons we have grown to this stage today can be attributed to this TATA First Dot which happened.
When you are in college, there are different sort of challenges, and specifically I come from a college whose campus is a bit isolated, which is Pilani. I'm a graduate from BITS Pilani. So in terms of networking, getting good mentors, though we have a brilliant setup to encourage entrepreneurship on campus as well, but when you are up to selling yourself, it's all about meeting new people, getting mentorships, not only academic mentorships in terms of your product development, but also the market mentorships from the veterans who are there already in the market. So we thought that then, which specifically in colleges, I think it's one of the largest entrepreneurial networks for young guys in India. So that's why we were pretty excited that okay, we'll take a part in this because to interact with other entrepreneurs, fellow startups, which would help us in team building. And I think it has greatly helped us a lot because it was a good credential to have. Because as a student startup, when you are like 22 and you are pitching to CEO of a company which is like a 50 crore company, it's important just beyond the academic background. You have to show other ways of your reliability, and I think then First Dot gave one of the credibilities because it was one among the first credentials that we had on our plate. So that was it.
So yeah, just come there, have fun, meet various people, and take an experience from there, and keep working on your product, and don't give up. That's what I can say. So I wish all the participants for Tata First Dot happy time there at First Dot, and also good luck with your ventures.